Hey everybody, the Reswarrel here, and welcome back to more of Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. What on earth is taking up so much CPU? Okay. That's fine. Alright, March 13th. Gatewaterland, main gate. Oh god, the sound. I always forget. Chased out like a pair of peasants. I thought it said parasites. Ah. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Kay? There's something even thieves should never steal. Do you know what that is? You really shouldn't steal anything, however, I'll bite. What shouldn't a thief steal? A life. It's too heavy of a burden on your soul to get away with, ever. That's something we can agree on. Well said, Kay. No matter what we may try, murder is the one crime that can never truly be hidden. And I intend to prove that by my own hands. When I apprehend the murderer himself, or myself. Alright, I'm going to work extra hard to be a good assistant. Let's go. I still never said she could be my assistant. I'm just gonna drop the issue. What, and let her be your assistant? The first thing we should do is locate the real scene of the murder. Mr. Edgeworth! Gumshoe! Detective Gumshoe! Mr. Edgeworth, the stadium! Hurry, sir! This is supposed to be hush-hush, but they found a witness at the stadium. A witness? You! What did we tell you about leaving your assigned post? Oh god. Ah, the jig is up. Is he gonna get dragged away again? Mr. Edgeworth, remember that I'm always rooting for you, so go get him, sir. I was waiting for him to get dragged away again. Those detectives sure look like they're enjoying themselves. It's not all fun and games, Kay. Now then, let's head to the stadium and meet this witness. Ba-ba. When do we get the cameo? I don't remember when it is, but I'm interested to find out. Okay, so now we're at the stadium. There's a... Oh, it's the pink buggy! I thought there was a witness here. Yeah, I don't see anyone. Mr. Edgeworth? Long time no see! You are Miss Emma Skye, correct? Oh my god, it's her theme from the first game too. That's awesome. This girl is the younger sister of my former superior, Lana Skye. 2 years ago, we stood in the same courtroom together as witness and prosecutor. But I thought she had gone to Europe to study forensics. I can't believe you remember me, Mr. Edgeworth. Of course I do. How have you been? You look to be in good spirits. You still studying abroad? You bet. More than anything, I want to investigate crime scenes, scientifically. I've been studying non-stop every day to become a top-notch forensic scientist. But it's spring break now, so I thought I'd come back for a bit. I see. Oh. Okay. Oh man. Emma Skye. I almost didn't recognize you. You've really grown in these past few years. Please don't tease me, Mr. Edgeworth. I know I still have a long way to go. But I'm going to be a super forensic scientist someday. You'll see. You seem to know Mr. Edgeworth really well. Are you two acquaintances? Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Emma Skye. Nice to meet you. I'm studying abroad now to be a forensic scientist. How about you? Wow, that's a great dream. My name's Kay Faraday, and I'm training to become an unstoppable great thief. A great thief? Don't think too hard on it, Emma. It's not worth the trouble. In any case, we have much to catch up on. You bet we do. Alright, so about yourself. So why are you here, Emma? Well, I just happened to decide to come back home for spring break. And then I heard that you'd come back too, so I raced on over here. I'd really wanted to welcome you back at the airport, but I had just missed you. And how exactly did you know I was here? Through the power of science, naturally. Never underestimate what science can do for you. I used these to track your footprints and followed them straight to you. This set is the greatest. It's so wonderfully scientific. You spray this chemical on the ground, and when you shine the special light on it, zing, the footprints light up like an electrified noble gas in a glass tube. It's almost like magic, scientifically speaking. Forensic science has never seemed more ominous to me than at this very moment. Okay, the witness. I'd like to ask you about what you witnessed. Huh? What are you talking about? Are you not the witness Detective Gumshoe told us about? Well, I did get a call from Detective Gumshoe earlier. He was practically yelling at me. Mr. Edgeworth needs your scientific doohickeys. Right now, pal, he said. What was that man thinking? Or rather, not thinking? So, let me guess. There's been a murder, right? Yes, unfortunately. There's a sudden glint in her eyes. But I need to keep my mind focused on the witness. Now, where did that person go? Okay, so you're not the witness. I know, I should have probably examined this first, but whatever. I assume this is another Badgermobile? Yeah, but it's a different colour than the Blue Badger's car. Yes, this is the retina-searing pink model. What's that off in the distance? Huh? Oh, it's the Pink Badger. Oh hey, it's the Pink Badger. Badger, get! Badger, 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 badger. Just what does she see in these silly things? Oh, not again. Oh, it says tough love. I think this badger has something to say to you, Mr. Edgeworth. Are you by chance the witness I've been searching for? Sorry, but I don't speak badger dance. Bum, bum. Okay, talk to the badger. Pink Badger! Uh-oh. Oh my! It's Old Bag. Oh no, it's Edgeworth's worst nightmare. I can't take being inside that stuffy head anymore. You're No, why her? Why here? Why now? I first met this woman 3 years ago. She was a witness in one of my cases. Oh no. She has since gone out of her way to pop up unexpectedly and cause me great grief. Edgy poo! Why couldn't you understand what I was trying to tell you? I mean, really? I was trying so hard to keep the kid's dream alive by staying in character, but you couldn't pick up on what I was trying to convey to you. I'm sick and tired of that roundabout way of talking, so I'm going to just be direct. I had a bad feeling before, but this just made it official. Today has gone beyond the typical not my day into the realm of waking nightmare. So you're a friend of Mr. Edgeworth too, Miss Pink Badger? You could say that, but right now I'm just the Pink Badger, dearie. She may look the part, but I know better than to trust my eyes around this woman. My name is Wendy Oldbag. But you can call me Wendy or Granny, or whatever suits your fancy. Nice to meet you, Miss Oldbag. I'm Kay Faraday. What do I care about a young whippersnapper like you? Yeesh, I was just trying to be polite. Okay, so we can talk to her. Weren't you a security guard at one of the Gatewater hotels the last time we met? I go where I'm needed. I'm very good at what I do, unlike the youth of today. I get called in all the time to fill in when there aren't enough hands. But enough about me, Edgy Poo. I'm thoroughly dejected right now. I finally get the chance to see you again, and here you are talking with two young girls. Men are all the same, it doesn't matter how old— oh Jesus, never mind. I didn't realise. You seem to attract all sorts of interesting people, Mr. Edgeworth. Kay, please, I'm begging you, by all means, do not provoke her any further. Oh, Jesus. Aren't you forgetting about something, Mr. Edgeworth? This person could be the witness. Honestly, I hope she isn't, but I don't think fate is going to be so kind today. I saw what happened. I even saw the exact moment it happened. How's that? So it's true. She is the witness. I don't suppose I can afford to ignore the old bag. Yes, it was just a little while ago. I saw it happen right in front of me. The moment of the murder. You mean to say that you witnessed someone being killed right before your eyes? Sounds like a pretty important piece of testimony to me. Alright. Oh my god, look at her face. What old bag witness? I came to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and I saw two men facing each other in that area. Suddenly there was a loud gunshot and the person who was shot fell to the ground. It was a very terrifying experience, let me tell you. Okay. Looks like we hit the jackpot, huh, Miss Edgeworth? Yes, I can't afford to ignore what she has to say. Unfortunately. What was that unfortunately you tacked on at the end supposed to mean, Edgy Poo? Well, anyway, let's see what we can find out from this little old lady. Alright. So what old bag witnessed? Hold it. See, it never works. Hold it. Holderoni. Oh, it did work. Holderoni. You mean you took a break from being the Pink Badger? You may not think it, but it's hard work keeping kids' dreams alive. You smell of sweat, your hip creaks. With pain, you even begin to dream about work. That's the kind of story that would scar a child for life, you know. Well, that's why I chose to come take my break here, whippersnapper. I don't plan on playing the part of the dead badger in front of a bunch of kids. So, what did you see while you, the Pink Badger, were resting? Oh yes, that. Well. I glanced over and saw two men facing each other. Whoop. Hold it. You saw two men. Can you describe them for me? They look like your average Joes, completely uninteresting and not worth fawning over. I'm telling you, they were so boring that I don't even remember much beyond that. But did they have any special features? Anything you can recall would be very helpful. Oh my, don't tell me you're jealous of those two men. Hey, she's right, you do seem pretty worked up over them, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm not worked up over anyone, and I'm not jealous. It's alright, Edgy Poo. Those two were just fools compared to a stallion like you. I thought so little of them that I lost interest the instant I laid eyes on them. Oh my god. Loud gunshot, yes, somebody died. So you're claiming to have seen the exact moment in which the murder took place? Absolutely. That gun made a terrible racket when it was fired. You didn't try to go and help the person that got shot? I'm only one person, you smart alecky brat. What could I have done? But I took off as soon as I could to find someone who could help. Two men, one bullet. It's all consistent with what we found out from the body. Sadly, there wasn't exactly a lot of new information to go on in your testimony. Well, if I saw the guy again, I'm sure I could identify him for you. I mean, how do you expect me to remember anything without something to jog my memory? Self-centered, aren't we? While it was somewhat useful, her testimony also presents us with a new problem. Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah? So about this new problem. What is that giant grin on your face for? Do you want me to show you something really nice? No, thank you. Don't be so mean. I swear it's something you're gonna like. What is that gadget you're holding? What you see before you is the secret weapon of a great thief. Ah, I should have known. It would be worthless. Oh, don't be like that. Ahem. What the fuck? So what do you think now? What is it doing? It's projecting something into the air. I'm going to input the necessary information to run the simulation now. Once I'm done, I'll increase the size of the projection to its maximum size. Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. The heck? Oh dear, what the fuck? What is this? This is a recreation of the murder based on the info I inputted into Little Thief. Little Thief? I dare say I think you're taking the Robin Hood thing a bit too far. Little Thief is actually meant to be a simulator for me to plan my thefts. But I suppose if I used it like this... Let's see, Miss Oldbag said that the two men were facing each other. And then a gunshot rang out, and the victim fell to the ground. So with this, we can inspect the crime scene as it was in the past. See, so what do you think? I have to say I'm impressed by the technology thieves have access to these days. Well, it is the super secret weapon of the of the mighty Yatagarasu. Indeed. Oh, but there isn't enough information, or if something is out of place, the recreation could come out a little strange. In other words, I can use this to authenticate the validity of a witness's testimony. You got it. You really catch on quick, Mr. Edgeworth. Right now, the simulation is a recreation of that witness's testimony. So for now, I should re-examine everything. And if I find anything illogical or strange, I can then ask for clarification. Feel free to examine anything in the simulation in the way you always do. You can even present evidence when you find a contradiction. And if you find something, I've got Little Thief with me, so just let me know, okay? Alright. Well, the first thing is that would not have been how he died, because he had an entry wound from his stomach, or abdomen, and it went out of his shoulder, so he was shot from below. According to the testimony, the victim fell to the ground here. That's right, but if that's the case, then we've already found our first contradiction. Huh? What? Where? If this is the real scene of the crime, there's something missing that should be here. Which piece of evidence shows the missing item? Would it be the Mr. Deacon's murder notes? Yeah, shot from abdomen through shoulder. Take that! Take that! This is the contradiction. Is something wrong with my recreation? If this is the real scene of the crime, something specific should be here. If you think back, how did we deduce that the other crime scene was not the real one? Oh, I get what's missing now. There's no blood on the ground here either, right? Right. The fact that there is no blood here casts doubt on the witness's testimony. Edgeworth! How can you tell me like that? Are you calling me a liar? I know what I saw, and I saw the victim get shot down. You know, I don't think she's lying, Mr. Edgeworth. To be honest, I can't think of a reason why she would lie to me. In that case, maybe there is another explanation for the distinct lack of blood. So why is there no blood around the victim's prone body? Oh, God, I always do that. I'll get used to this crime scene. No, I'll get used to the control scheme eventually. So... Oh! That's why. There was no blood, because if he was a kidnapper and in a suit, it would have soaked into the suit. Right. The only thing I was actually going to go with is the fact it was raining, so it would have washed it away. Is it not possible that the victim was wearing a costume? So you really think that Mr. Deacon was one of the kidnappers? I think we can reasonably assume there is a very good chance that he was. And that if he was shot while inside one of those stolen costumes, then Mr. Deacon's blood would be inside the costume instead of on the ground. Precisely. Now, if only we could prove that the victim was wearing a costume. I think it'd be pretty easy if we could find some footprints. But the problem is finding them, since there doesn't seem to be any around. Footprints, huh? I wonder how we can go about finding some of those. Emma! This is amazing! Just feel the power of science. There we go. We need a footprint analysis. Emma, about that method you were talking about for finding footprints. Ah, finally my expert knowledge in forensics is needed. Yes, well, can you detect and trace even partial footprints? Leave it to me. My cutting-edge detection kit can find anything. Very well. If you could please analyze the footprints in this area. Okay, stand back. I'll stand back now and witness the power of science at work. Oh right, she turned off Little Thief. Hey, I found something. Look, right here. I don't see anything. Oh, that's right. Here. Put these special glasses on, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, bloody hell. These footprints... Oh, the footprints here were definitely left by a badger costume. Judging by the way the prints are layered, those seem to be the newest. Then we can conclude that the victim was definitely wearing a costume at that time. Or at the time, so we got the victim's costume. Although technically we haven't got his costume, we just know that he was wearing one. Okay, in that case, I'll update Little Thief's simulation parameters. I can't wait to see what we find out from this new info. Ah! Bloody hell. So the victim was wearing a costume when he died. And with that, we should be one step closer to the truth, right? I see the recreation has changed in accordance with the new information. We may be closer, but now something else has caught my attention. What do you want? Your testimony? Naturally, I'd like to hear it one more time, if you please. So what old bag witnessed? Take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and saw two men facing each other in that area. Gunshot. Person fell to the ground. Very terrifying experience, let me tell you. Right. We don't need to press everything. So, does this mean that Miss Oldbag's testimony has a contradiction in it? Yes, and I believe our best course of action is to compare it with your recreation. See, I just knew Little Thief would be of help. Now, let's see if we can pull more info from Miss Oldbag to put in the recreation. For that, we must first find the contradiction in her testimony. It's when she specifies about the two men. Because she doesn't specify that one person's in a costume. Alright, here we go. Likely wearing one due to footprints, or due to footprint shape and lack of blood. Two men? How did you know the gender of the two people involved? Seeing as how the victim was wearing a costume at the time. Furthermore, I have another matter I'd like to inquire about. I'd very much like to know why you failed to mention the costume in your testimony. There it is. I'm beginning to doubt if you really witnessed the murder at all. But I'm telling you, I really did see it. I saw it with my very own eyes. I don't know why I thought she said something else. From a seat in the second tier. The second tier? Hey, didn't you say you saw it right in front of you earlier? That was, you know, it was using the phrase in the metaphorical sense. I see our witness still has a screw loose, in the metaphorical sense. The cushy seats in the second tier are reserved for hotshot VIPs, which is exactly why I go there now and again to take a nap. Can't see how you could have gotten a good look from there, it's so high up. Were you able to see even the victim's costume from way up there? Well, I know I saw two people. But I couldn't really see what they looked like because they were in the stage's shadow. Oh, in the shadow of the stage. It was hard to make out the killer and the victim that Oldbag saw in the stage's shadow. Ah. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, you know? Not like when I was young. Never mind. Jesus. Oh. Let's return to our investigation, shall we, Kay? You got it. So, beginning of investigation. Okay. So if it was in the shadow, that would be here, would it not? Looks like they broke the stage down. Oh! The stage was packed up. The stage I saw this morning in the center of this stadium has been packed away. That's a weird thing. I guess this means they're done for the day? Or maybe it's because a different show is scheduled to start its run tomorrow. So... interesting. The stage has been packed up in the how many hours? It's only been like 2 hours. I think so. If that woman's testimony is to be believed, the murder occurred before the stage was broken down. Do you want me to input that bit of info into Little Thief? Yes, if you please. Oh, there we go. What the fuck? He's inside the stage now. I'm just like, what? This just seems very weird. There is clearly a contradiction here. Please stop stealing my lines. Oh, come on, it wasn't that hard to see it coming, even for a layman like me. I suppose, in any case, it's not possible for the killer to have stood here in that way, because there was a very real stage set up in this spot at that time. Yeesh, I told you I got it. Do you feel the need to explain everything? Yes, well, in any case, we still need to resolve this unusual situation. Isn't it obvious? The killer was on top of the stage, naturally. Right, Miss Allbag? Yes, I remember now. The killer was standing on the top of the stage. No, I think it's the other way around. See, now let me update the info in the simulation. The reason I say that is because he was shot through the abdomen, out of the shoulder. If it was this way around, how it would have worked is the bullet would have gone in the shoulder and out the abdomen. Oh no, it would have been out. It would have been in the shoulder, at the front, and out of the back of his abdomen. Yeah. Well, well, what have we here? A bunch of hooligans running amok, I see. Ah, great. Agent Lang. Agent Lang, how nice of you to join us. Well, I can't have you going around messing up my crime scenes. Agent Lang, we discovered that the real scene of the murder is here, the stadium. I see, thanks. For what? I'm just trying to show you my appreciation for all the time you saved me. Who knew that such a strange little toy could recreate a crime scene like that? Little Thief is not a toy. You dick. You too. Yes, sir. Oh. Okay, so they put the stage back together. There you have it, you see. Big boys like me don't need silly toys, little girl. Now this is a recreation. So what, do you still intend to assert that Officer Meekins is the killer? Of course. Even knowing... Wait, I don't know why I can't read this. Even knowing that the crime scene... oh my god, that the crime took place here doesn't let him off the hook. God, I can't not read. I've said that like every single session of this game. It's because I cock up so much. I don't even know how. Agent Lang's logic. So this is the real scene of the crime. Officer Meekins lay in wait for the victim on top of the stage. When the victim finally showed, he shot him from on high. That's the truth your little recreation showed. Okay, I don't believe it. How far will you go to accuse Officer Meekins of the crime? He's the most likely suspect we've got, especially given the situation with his gun. Well, even if he is the killer, at least my recreation was on the mark. You see? Thank you for understanding, my little crow girl. I'm not some common crow. I'm the Yatagarasu, the Raven of Legend. Unfortunately, your conclusion has yet to be tested, so let's see how well it holds up. Alright, time to press until I get to what I actually want to present on. Boom! Looks like we found the real crime scene first. Huh, brag all you want, but we don't have all that free time, unlike the two of you. You know what you remind me of? A dog licking his wounds as he whimpers home. Well, I guess I should be thankful for all the time you saved me. What, ZZ? That's how we say thanks in my country. You're welcome. I hope he realizes we didn't do all of this for him. But I'm here now, so I'll be taking over. As I was saying, this is where the crime took place. Lying in wait? How did Officer Meekins even know the victim was going to come here? Simple. He was investigating the kidnappers, right? And while he was doing so, he came to understand the victim, Mr. Deacon's, movements. Yeah, I object. Damn straight. And why would the good officer want to ambush and kill a kidnapper? You mean his motive? Who knows, and who cares? You can find that out for yourself when you talk to him in jail. You have no respect for the order of law. Don't get me wrong, but I need more than "there's no motive" to convince me otherwise. He's right. The lack of a motive is a rather weak argument by itself. Ba-ba. So the officer lay in wait on top of the stage. There we go. This is what I want to present on. When the victim finally showed, he shot him from on high. You're wrong. Well, technically, you're not. Actually, yes, you are wrong, but that's also because the recreation was wrong. Yep. Abdomen through shoulder. I'm terribly sorry, Agent Lang. I should have warned you that our recreation is incomplete. You cut in quite unexpectedly, after all. What's that supposed to mean? You said that the victim was shot by the killer from up above, correct? I hate to break it to you, but that's not possible. Huh? Why not? Recall Mr. Deacon's body, specifically where the gunshot wounds were located. Actually, I didn't get that good of a look. Oh, well then. The bullet entered Mr. Deacon in his abdominal region and exited his right shoulder. His right shoulder? Oh, it is. I thought it was his left. Oh my god. This is more consistent with an angled shot from beneath the victim. Then, yes, our recreation had the victim being shot at an angle from above. A clear contradiction. You're discounting your own conclusions. No, this one point is the only flaw. This was the mistaken parameter in our recreation. The killer and victim's location. Yes, the locations of the killer and the victim were wrong. In fact, they needed to be switched. I get it, I see what you're trying to say. I believe the killer and the victim were standing opposite to what we initially thought. It was the victim who was on top of the stage as he was being shot by the killer. Now she updates it. There we go. That still does not seem like that would have worked. If this is what happened, it also explained the positioning of the gunshot wounds. But then what about the footprints? Since footprints don't lie, we can assume then that the killer also wore a costume. Okay, I'll try using that data instead. Great, we've got 2 badges. Judging by the fact that both the killer and the victim were wearing costumes, I'd say it was a killing between the 2 kidnappers. That would be the most natural conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Agent Lang? Of course he doesn't agree. That would be admitting that I'm right. Well done, prosecutor. But that alone doesn't clear Officer Meekins of the crime. Oh, really? He has more! Jesus. So another bit of proof. I ask that you take another good look at the tyre marks over there. The 3 marks are indicative of the blue Badgermobile. The story Officer Meekins told about that shop on wheels getting stolen was just a lie. He drove the blue Badgermobile in here and committed the murder. Then he used the car to move the body to the garage in the Wild Wild West area. Did he know? You believe he moved the body with the car? That's right. It was Officer Meekins himself who pointed us to the way he did it. The 3 tired thread marks are very telling, however. Is the blue Badgermobile the only thing capable of creating such a pattern? So another bit of proof. Another good look at the tyre marks over there. So the tyre marks. Yes, the tyre marks. The ones there behind the stage. Oh. They were hidden up until now by the various pieces of stage equipment. As for when they were made, they must have been made after the rain had begun to fall, correct? Yeah, so probably around the same time when the killer's footprints were made. The tyres on that blue Badgermobile probably got pretty muddy because of that. I say it's the blue Badgermobile because, well, that's pretty obvious too. There's mud on the tyre then. Is there? Can I actually look at it? Aha! There ain't no mud. What you talking about? So I'll present that. Sorry, Agent Lang, but that's an impossible tale. And why is that? Those tyre marks could not have been left by Officer Meekins' blue Badgermobile. One look at the car would have told you so. What proves that the blue Badgermobile had never been to this stadium? The tyres, of course! Take a good look at the tyres. There's not a single dollop of mud to be found on it. If this car had come to the backstage area and left those tyre tracks, Then the lack of mud on these tyres stands out as very peculiar indeed. Then how do you explain the tyre tracks, genius? Hey, I've got it. What about Miss Oldbag's pink Badgermobile? Don't be ridiculous. I was sleeping the entire time in the second tier seats. Indeed, I believe we can rule her out as someone related to the crime. However, there is yet one more roving star as I recall. Oh, you mean the Proto-Badger? That's right, there was one more parking space inside that garage. It proves the existence of a Proto-Badgermobile. Agent Lang, I suggest you find this Proto-Badgermobile post-haste. There must still be some sort of incriminating evidence in it. What was that? Hey, did you hear something? Hell. Oh god. Help me. Oh dear. Are you alright? Well, this is something. Looks like we found our kidnapping victim. Where were you all this time? Wild West. With kidnappers. He was in the room next to the one I was held in. Ran away using underground and got lost. The kidnappers... What is it? I can't understand what you're trying to say. The kidnappers escaped. Wearing costumes. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't see their faces. But one was a woman. Okay. A woman? Quite an important piece of testimony. So what are you guys doing? Stop standing there and get your cops on this already. Oh my god. I'll even let you guys have what the kid said just now. Consider it a gift. No, you're gonna get out of my crime scene, or am I going to have to get rough? Again? You're nothing but a big bully. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go. Oh, no, no, no. Not you. You're a very important witness for my case. I'm not about to let you get away that easy. Or that easily. Don't count on me to testify, because I won't, not for you. That's right, I won't either. You hear me, you young whippersnapper? Hey, calm down. There's no need for all this hostility. Oops, wrong button. I just want to take a statement from each of you. I'm not going to rough either of you up, I give you my word. Come now, fair maidens. What do you say? Will you cooperate? Fair maidens? My, you little rascal, you sure know the way into a woman's heart. Langsy says, the passage of time is but a fleeting moment, and a lady is young forever. Trying to outdo my edgy poo with your fancy schmancy sayings. Let's get this over with. So we're clear, I'm only interested in giving you my statement. Sure, just as soon as Mr. Prosecutor leaves us be. Mr. Edgeworth. Wow. Ba-da-da-da-dum. Right, okay. So... Oh wait, no. I was about to say I need to... There we go. Perfect. I clicked out the window for a split second. Oh, it's here where there's an Easter egg. Okay. Okay, so Wild Wild West area. Looks like we got the boot again. With Lance safe, the focus of the investigation will shift solely onto the murder. You mean the infighting between the kidnappers? Yes, and also the identity of the remaining kidnapper. Miles, my boy! No, it's Ernest. Tell me it's true. Tell me that you've really found my boy. Yes, Mr. Romano. We found him earlier in the stadium. Then, my little Lance is unhurt? It's not exactly the picture of perfect health, but his life is not in danger. He's being questioned right now by Agent Lang. Poor Lance. It must have been so horrible for him. Locked up like a... Okay. Right, yeah, before I actually do anything. If we go over this way... I can't quite remember where it is. There it is! Yeah! You've got Phoenix, Pearls, and Maya. They say that couples who cross the bridge together will find happiness. Or so the Waterland pamphlet says. But you think that they'd already be happy because they were able to come together. Logistics aside, I wonder who came up with this tale and when. This bridge doesn't look old enough to be the stuff of legends. Well, some things are better left uninvestigated, don't you think? Ignorance is bliss. Oh, I thought he would point something out. That's really cool though. Yeah. Right, so... now I can actually talk to these two. Lanzamano! Miles, my boy, I can't thank you enough. It was nothing. I'm still in shock over what happened to Oliver. But I have to say I'm relieved that Lance is alright. Oh, that's right. I mustn't forget to pass this on to Lance as soon as the police are finished with him. A letter? A letter? The way Lance is being chased after by women reminds me of someone I know. I almost can't believe he received yet another love letter, you know? Here, take a look for yourself. Isn't this a breach of confidentiality? It's a very simple love letter. Wait a minute, Tender Lender. The Tender Lender Loan Company. Oh, hey, let me see. That's really weird. It's from a loan company, Tender Lender. Looks more like a collection bill to me. Right, love letter. Right, so now I can talk to her. Lanzamano. He loves me not, he loves me not. Oh, that's the 12th one. No, you can't give up, Lauren. Just one more try. Excuse me, but I can't help but feel a bit sorry for all the flowers you've gone through. I suppose, if they were me, then... I believe you said that you are Lance's girlfriend when we first met, correct? Yes, I am, but... oh, it's not like we both think of each other as lovers. But he did give me this ring, so I guess we're not just friends either. I mean, because... this isn't just any ordinary ring. It's a lollipop. It tastes so sweet when you lick it. It's so wonderful. You mean to tell me that he gave you a lollipop ring? So which is it? Have you guys not decided if you're going out, or is it just one-sided? Decided? Shouldn't the parties involved naturally just know? My father used to work for Mr. Romano, and so Lance and I grew up together. I said it out loud. I don't see how that's anything to be embarrassed about. So your father was an employee of the Amano Group. What did he do? I heard his job was to fly around the world. On Pegasus. Pegasus? Oh, Pegasus was the name of the airplane. The airplane belonged to the company. You had me there for a second. But now, it's all changed. My father, he isn't around anymore. Oh, I see. But 10 years ago he rode in Pegasus off to somewhere and never returned. Riding Pegasus to whereabouts unknown. Sounds like the stuff legends are made of. It's been so long, I don't think I'd recognize him if we were to ever meet again. I'm so sorry, Lauren. But I won't give in to the sadness. I have to live. Yes, Lauren, live. This chick is a fruitcake. An absolute fruitcake. So, about this incident. Incident? But isn't the kidnapping already over and dealt with? I've been here the whole time, so I'm afraid I don't know much about any other incident. How did you come to know that Lance had been kidnapped? Oh, that's because of my woman's intuition. You based everything on that. I know everything when it comes to my Lance. It's really strange. It really must be destiny. She started fantasizing again. Great. So, what are you going to do now, Mr. Edgeworth? We already established that there's a good chance that the killer is the other kidnapper. It's my duty to figure out who this other person is. I believe there is one location that might hold a clue or two. Kidnapper's hideout. The obvious location is the kidnapper's hideout. But we're still not allowed in, remember? Agent Lang and his men should be done with this area. In that case, there is no harm in asking that officer over there to let us in. Yeah, we're not allowed back over to the stadium. But... excuse me, sir. What do you have to report? Sir, nothing unusual or out of the ordinary, sir. Where have I heard such redundancy before? Is it possible for us, or for you to let us take a look around inside? Sir, roger, sir. Yeah! That was surprisingly hassle-free. Are you certain? Didn't Agent Lang order you not to allow me in? Sir, that's true, sir, but... Detective Gumshoe asked me personally to let you in, sir. And I couldn't refuse a request from him. Wow, looks like Detective Gumshoe has a following. Furthermore, I was asked to give this document to you, sir. What is this? Autopsy! Oh! It's not an autopsy report. Colin! Oh god, okay. Wait a minute, he escaped? And not pretended. Like, made a new life for himself as a butler. Interesting. So the man in this picture, isn't this Mr. Oliver Deacon? So Colin Deveray, sex male, height 5'8", 123 pounds, dominant hand right, whereabouts unknown after his escape from Penn E. Dent Prison, stole a gun from a guard during his escape. We thought he might head for where his wife and daughter are, I think is what it says. But the name here says Colin Deveray. That's the same name as the one on the back of the pendant. It appears that Colin Deveray was his real name. What's this? He was convicted in a case 10 years ago and sent to prison. What? Now what was he doing here? Apparently he broke out of jail and then just vanished. He must have become Oliver Deacon to cover up the fact that he was an escaped felon. Oh. Now I'm not sure what's going on anymore. Is there some sort of link between the victim's past and this current case? These police documents are rather detailed. I should take the time to give them a thorough read, eventually. It's fine, let's focus on one thing at a time, starting with the kidnapper's hideout. Yeah, I agree. We should investigate first, think later. More than thinking things through, I think you should try remembering things first. Now then, if you could please unlock the door, officer. It was locked up until a little while ago, but since then the door's been wide open, sir. I'm not sure I follow what it is you're saying. Care to explain in a bit more detail? Sir, the door was locked down tight when they went to check out the room. So they got about 10 officers to help out and break the door down, sir. I see. I guess that means I get Agent Lang's leftovers. Well, let's see what we find. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff. So this is where the kidnappers planned their foul deed. While you were tied up for a while in the next room. Or, in the room next door. Okay, please, must you bring that up again? Now then, down to business. There might still be some clues left in this room. Let's try to find out what we can of the other kidnapper's identity. Begin the investigation. Right, okay, first and foremost. Right, he might head for where his wife and sole daughter are, but despite our surveillance, he has yet to show her. Right. We got a mirror. Watch out, Mr. Edgeworth. It's a broken mirror. It probably came from the haunted house. Why is this here? Are they planning to repair it? What's this in the bin? This must be where they dispose of old and worn-out costumes. That's so sad. It would seem that they throw the costumes away in pieces. Okay. In the hideout, there is a trash bin for old and useless costumes. Oh, what is that? I never even saw that before. What have we here? It looks like a sword. A broken sword. Strange. Why would it be broken like that? So, broken prop sword, found lying next to the door, broken cleanly in half. Swords don't usually break on their own. That's true. Alright then, let's think about it in this way. Maybe it broke when someone was trying to use it for or on something. Hypotheticals aren't going to get us anywhere. Perhaps we should think more on this later. The door is thoroughly broken thanks to the police who forced it open. Oh my god, the door handle is screwed. What's that? No. Door handle. The doorknob handle thingy is looking pretty beat up. I suppose that's what happens when 10 officers break their way in with brute force. Hey, that's odd. The lock on this is completely fine. Look, not a single dent. But how is that possible after what that officer told us? Yeah, if the lock had been in use when the door was busted down, then the lock itself should be completely wrecked. So the lock on the door leading to the outside is undamaged. How can that be? The door leading outside, the door had to be forced open yet the lock is intact. Was it not locked? Oh! Did somebody use that sword to break the lock, or like open the door? Then unlock it? Makes sense as to they were right next to one another. Let's try them. It's a bit strange that the police had to force their way into an unlocked room. One look at the pristine door, and anyone can see that it was not in use at the time. But the policeman outside said that it took 10 men to get it open. A door that was locked tight despite it not being locked at all. Oh, the sword! Okay, they didn't use it to unlock the door, they used it to, like, keep the door shut. Can only be because of this. Oh, you mean... Yeah, it was used to jam the door. There we go. Here, take a look at the door handle. Do you see how the handle is completely destroyed? So that's how the sword broke. Yeah. Interesting. Fair enough. What else do we have? What is suspicious? The table. Until I've inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. There's 3 cups. Oh, a key. I wonder what this key is to. You got me. Reminds me of the key we found in the other room. That's it. That must be the key for one of those trapdoors. That wasn't a trapdoor. You only call it one because you quite literally jumped into it. Hey, but isn't that what you're supposed to do when you see one? I'm not having this conversation with you. I got kind of sidetracked. Okay. I just saw the key and was like, yeah! Cheap styrofoam cups. Looks like only 3 cups were used. They were poured today. So they were on top of the table, the coffee looks like it was poured today. Right. Folding chairs, and by the looks of it, they were probably used by the kidnappers. There are 3 chairs set around the table. Folding chairs, 3 of them were set up, it's very likely that the kidnappers sat in these. Wait, wasn't there only 2 though? I could have sworn it was established that there's only 2 kidnappers. Either that or I'm just crazy. Maybe just crazy. Right, so... 3 cups and the folding chairs. Is this where we're going to find out? Oh, there's 3 of them. So the common denominator between the cups and the folding chairs is the number 3. Speaking of which, the number of missing costumes is also 3. Wait, but I thought there were only 2 kidnappers. There we go. Indeed, something isn't adding up. Literally. Is it possible that there is a 3rd kidnapper Lance didn't see? I thought that we might uncover the true identity of the kidnappers, but instead we've only uncovered more questions that need to be answered. How fun! Oh, Jesus! What is it? Well, well! Mr. Edgeworth, am I correct? What are you doing suddenly popping out of the secret entrance like that? This is an underground passage used by staff members, sir. We badgers also make use of it in our duties. Look, why don't you get out of there first, and then we'll talk, okay? I beg your pardon, miss. Badger get. Knew it. Alright, only 1 more to go. What are you getting all excited about? Did you forget? The photo rally, duh! See, look. Now all I have to do is get a picture of the bad badger and I'm done. Ah yes, I vaguely recall the contest or something of that sort. What? It's gone. But where did it go? What happened? What's wrong? A Bad Badger costume is missing, sir. Oh? Is that all? Well, it's missing because the kidnappers stole it. I heard about how they were stolen, but they said that only 3 of the costumes had been taken. What? Is he saying that more than 3 of them are gone? Mr. Proto Badger, please, tell me a little more about these costumes you use. Okay, so now we have to talk to him, I guess. So, what did you mean by a Bad Badger costume is missing? Why, just what I said, sir. We are 1 Bad Badger short. Counting the spares, we have 2 of each costume on hand at all time. Okay, so because one of them is walking around the park, the other should be in that room. Actually, both of them should be in that room. Huh? What do you mean? Normally we don't use the Bad Badger costumes. In fact, we only use them during a certain event at a set time each day. Oh, I see. It's the stage show where the Bad Badger wreaks havoc around the park, and the other badgers must work together to apprehend him, sir. I'm speechless that such a show exists. Well, so I was just trying to explain to you the only time we use that costume. Doesn't that make it near impossible to take a picture of the Bad Badger? Personally, I can't believe that it's this close to showtime and there's no costume. Oh dear, what am I to do, sir? All this basically means is that the kidnappers stole 4 costumes in total. Then are you saying that there are 4 kidnappers? No, I don't think that's very likely. Oh? Recall the costumes for a minute. Stolen ones, you mean? What proves that a 4th kidnapper does not exist? The Pink Badger? If you had 4 people and you had wanted to steal a 4th costume, wouldn't you naturally go for the full set and steal a Pink Badger costume instead? Yeah, that makes sense. And yet the kidnappers decided to steal another Bad Badger. I believe the culprits needed 2 Bad Badger costumes, but the question is, why? Unaccounted for Bad Badger. It's a 4th stolen costume by the 3-person kidnapping group. Where's the other costume? This must be where they dispose of old and worn-out costumes. Oh, wait. So I can now actually do this. Unaccounted for Bad Badger and costume pieces. Boom, boom, boom. The 2nd Bad Badger costume. I believe it may be closer at hand than we think. What do you mean? That costume in the trash. Wouldn't you say that it's wearing some very telltale pants? Hey, you're right. Let's get it out of there and take a look. Wait, what the fuck? As I suspected, it's a Bad Badger costume. Well, minus the head. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. Nook and cranny. Look, its hand is hurt. It looks more like something was ripped off of it. Oh. Wait, the gun? Would it be the gun? Crap, where's the, like, badger pamphlet thing? There it is. If I'm a criminal with a gun, it would be the gun. I would assume. Yes, if I deduce... it is indeed the Bible. Eureka! I believe what we have here is an inconsistency. Between what? Look carefully. Our costume is not holding something in its right hand that it should be. Oh, the gun! Precisely. The Bad Badger was always designed to hold a gun in his right hand. However... You there, did you remove the gun from this Bad Badger's right hand? No, I did not, sir. The gun is supposed to be securely attached to the costume. As I thought, the rip itself confirms my hypothesis that the gun was forcibly removed. Mr. Proto Badger, the gun is, of course, not a functioning weapon, correct? Absolutely not, sir. It's just a model gun. However, it can fire blanks. We need to use them for the stage show. It seems that our kidnappers also had a need for the model gun, my dear costume friend. Ah. Okay. I think we're about done with this room. So what's next? Well, we found a few answers. But there are still a few things left that we have to ask a certain person about. Let's go, Kay. Ah. So there's that. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Gumshoe! Gotta hurry, sir, come on. What is it, detective? They found a blue badger costume down in front of the main gate, sir. What? Isn't that what one of the kidnappers was wearing? Bingo. That's why you gotta come to the main gate with me right now. If we hurry, we still might be able to get there before Wolfboy does, sir. Alright, let's make haste to the main gate. Ta-da-da-la! Oh my god, again? Really? That's incredible. Just how fast this has been going. Like, absolutely. I might just finish this case today. As opposed to not, but we'll see. It depends how long it takes, really. Alright, so March 13th. Gatewater Land, main gate. It's only been, in total, 4 hours in this case, because I think we started it at like 11 AM. Oh, God, again. Keep forgetting. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, what am I doing? I keep misclicking and clicking off of the window. Just on the other side of the fountain, sir. Oh, what the? It's a blue badger. Was it out here in the open all along? No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. We moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. And let's get down to it. The pendant. I mean, it's pretty obvious. What do we have here? Oh, it's another pendant. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? And hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver too. Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon. Is it possible that these two... Hold it right there, Wolfboy. Motto meant Agent Lang, but whatever. Both names work. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? A pendant, huh? This is a very decisive piece of evidence. How can you tell? Look here and read off what you see. So, Lauren. Hey, it's a name that's engraved on this. Oh! Wait, it's Lauren Pops, but it says Lauren D, doesn't it? Yeah, Lauren D. Aha! We have you now, Miss Kidnapper. No, you don't understand. Ollie, I can't believe you were one of my kidnappers. Lance. You're kidding? Miss Potts was one of the kidnappers? Yes. Oh. It was me. I held Lance hostage. So Miss Potts is one of the kidnappers. Well, even knowing that, I can't call this case solved, or over. Hey guys, case closed. Get the car ready and I mean the special one for this young lady. Again, Mr. Prosecutor? What is it this time? Are you proposing that Miss Potts is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect. We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Your country's police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are. Who are you calling a sham? The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. So Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges, I see. That's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? Miss Pops, did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him. Can't believe it. Thanks for the confession. Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed. Look at you, so sure of yourself. We got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? Miss Lauren Pops? Yes? I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that has happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder. But why? I'm the kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough? Oh, the fuck? Are they scissors? Oh no, she's threatening to cut her hair. It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that is the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't? I've had a change of heart. I think I'd enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear about all the evil deeds you committed today. Okay. Miss Pop's confession. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Romano would pay anything to get his son back after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. There, you satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes a second time. At least you have the guts to admit what you've done. I can at least respect that much. Miss Pops, is what you said really the truth? Yes, it is. If that is the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. But there is something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession. Yep. Me tinks that too. So Miss Pop's confession. It's the last statement, but I'll press everything. Mr. Deacon would not try and kill her. There is no chance. So how well did you know the victim? I've spoken with him only a few times at Lance's house. A few times, that's it. Yes. They only met a few times. I don't see how they could have trusted each other. But if you hardly ever talked, then how could he trust you not to steal his plan? That's completely irrelevant. He was planning to betray her from the very beginning. Which is why he chose someone he wasn't especially close to. Isn't that right, Sheena? Yes, however, Mr. Deacon made a very poor choice. In the end, he was killed by the one he intended to betray, himself. Huh. But I bet you he didn't see that one coming. You knew? How did you know something like that? Oh no, what should I do? Okay, what's wrong with her now? Come on, isn't it obvious? You're making your scary face again, that's why. Why don't you try asking her in a nicer, more gentle way? No, stop it, Lauren. You're always like this. You always fall for the stern-looking one. That's why you'll always be unhappy. Or maybe that's it. She's been bewitched by your icy glare. Mind your own business, Kay. Now then. Miss Pops, let's continue with your testimony. Oh yes, of course. I like how that didn't actually give any information. Would pay anything to get his son back. Why did you believe that? Anyone who knows Mr. Romano would think the same. I bet Lance is that old man's greatest treasure. I suppose he would be to a doting father like Mr. Romano. I always figured that was it too, and I was always envious of Lance for it. Oh, because your dad's... I got this pendant from my father. Aha! And I believe that as long as I have this, I'll find my father again someday. He'll welcome me into his arms, riding on the back of Pegasus. A pendant, she must truly believe it to be the wings of Pegasus. Does she not know? She did say she wouldn't even recognize him. Oh no. I never even thought about that. Crap. Oh dear. Man, that's not good. Would you mind telling us a little about the plan itself? Well, first we captured Lentz. Oh, how did you do that? Well, Mr. Deacon did that on his own, so I don't quite know. Bah, and here I thought you knew how to steal people away. I shudder to think what she would do with such knowledge. Sorry, I really don't know, but somehow Mr. Deacon was able to contain him. All we had to do after that was wait for the ransom to be paid, but... Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. Bullshit! Absolute bullshit. Wait. Oh wait, no, I don't need to present anything. Crap, no. Press first. So, why do you think he did? I have no idea, but maybe he had planned on doing so from the very beginning. Miss Pops. Wait, Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Pops from the very beginning. Was that ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Hell yeah. I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely. I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been capable of killing you. But why? We were total strangers. Miss Pops, you really are clueless, aren't you? What do you mean? You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. But I do, and I can show you with this piece of evidence. This proves that Mr. Deacon wouldn't have been able to bring himself to kill Miss Pops. Right, so there. Take your pendant. Why are you showing this to me? So what about the pendant? This pair of wings, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are. These two pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree? Hey, you're right, they're the same colour, and they're even made of the same material. I believe that these two pendants are actually one. Shall we give it a try? Wow, it's totally Pegasus. But why? Why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's? You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be. No, that can't be. So the two make a set, huh? Just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything. You like imagination, Agent Lang. Very well, I'll show you with this evidence. This is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant. Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Deveray. The name that is etched on the horse pendant. What an alias. I suppose he had to hide the fact that he was a felon, somehow, in order to live. And it makes sense, given what is written on Mr. Deveray's dossier. But what I really wanted to point out was this. The specific section is what reveals the true meaning behind those pendants. Not the daughter. Crap. I'll just present. I can't move it up, so yeah. Try that. Mr. Deveray had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pops. That's a lie. That person was not my father. He couldn't come out and tell you he was your father because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot? He's just laughing away. What's so funny, Agent Lang? You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you? What are you trying to say? You're thinking that your thinking is much too innocent. After all, I've thought of another possibility. Is that so? Well, let's hear it. Of course. So, another possibility. I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter. But isn't it possible that they both knew that fact? There's no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amano. And the two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well? So this is his version of how things might have been. You don't have any proof that either one didn't know of their true relationship, right? You mean they knowingly committed the kidnapping as father and daughter? That's right, as one really rotten family. Is that really what happened? I better take a long, hard look at the evidence. Okay. So another possibility. Precisely, and what father would ever willingly kill his own daughter? I've seen a lot of things in my travels, and I can tell you that being related by blood is sometimes proof of nothing. But isn't it possible that they both knew the fact? No. You think they knew? Wait. Yeah, I don't think only the victim knew. I think the girl realized it as well. They both knew who the other person was, but they had to pretend that they didn't. Because he was on the lam? You got it. The victim couldn't exactly go around flaunting who he was. Furthermore, it was no coincidence that the reunite fair, blah blah blah. One as a butler and one as the friend of the son. You mean? They probably thought that that was their best shot. Is that what you honestly believe? Of course. The two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. What could I do? Oh, there we go. Yeah, a blue proto badge. But there were 3 of them. Could I not just present the cups? Look, there's 3! And also, 4 was stolen. This kidnapping wasn't planned by just 2 people alone. What kind of proof do you have of that? Quite simply, there were 3 kidnappers. 3? 4 costumes were stolen from the Wild Wild West area's back room. We found one of them in the kidnapper's hideout. But as for the other 3, we can assume that we're being worn by 3 different people. We also found a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were used in the hideout. It all clearly points to a 3-man group. And I believe this 3rd person is the real mastermind behind the kidnapping. Who? Who is this mastermind? I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping. God, how is he a ladies' man? Whatever. Lance Amano? Yes, his abduction was in fact schemed up by Lance himself. Recall what he said when he appeared before us. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't. I didn't see their faces, but 2. One was a woman. Yeah, how would he know? However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said. But I know I only saw 2 people. This guy was being held hostage. It's possible he couldn't see all 3 of them. Ah yes, about when you were being held. I have my doubts about what happened then. Lance, would you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive? I really don't remember much anymore, honest. But if I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you? Okay, so his testimony. I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room, blindfolded the entire time. But the kidnappers suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could. Through the underground passageway, I assume? You okay? Sorry, I really didn't want to recall that horrible ordeal, but now you believe me, right? No, not quite yet. How can you not? Why do you look at me with icy daggers in your eyes? Because he's a prosecutor, and because they're all like that. I'll have you know, Agent Lang, a prosecutor's eyes are for discerning the truth. And they should be interpreted to be cruel at times, then so be it. And should they be interpreted to be cruel at times, then so be it. There's a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push a little. Can you tell us about when you were abducted in a little more detail? It was a strange morning. I felt like I was right in the middle of a great calm. Then where were you when you experienced this calm? A family garden, of course. Where else could it have been? Well, excuse me for asking. This child is more princess than prince. I was out taking a walk to shake off the morning blah. Then out of the blue, someone from behind clamps a hand over my mouth. You didn't see your attacker? They must have used some drug to knock me out. Because before I knew it, I was off in La La Land again. When I woke up, I was already in the kidnapper's hideout already, all tied up. By that room you mean the room in the kidnapper's hideout, correct? Yes, but I was blindfolded the whole time, so I didn't know that until I made my escape. Then you were in the same room as your kidnappers. They spoke in hushed tones, but I could catch bits of their conversation. It was definitely two people, and one of them was definitely a woman. I was so scared. I could tell they were nearby, so I didn't dare make a move. Right. The kidnappers disappeared. The room fell into a sudden silence. I had been left behind like an unwanted mutt. What do you mean by unwanted mutt? What a pointless question. It's not like he's going to tell you anything new, you know. It's a poetic simile. You should learn how to use them too. You may look refined on the outside. Well, it's no good if you're not refined on the inside as well. So then those cuffs on your wrists. Or wrists. I suppose you are still cuffed in that case. I am well aware of how I am chained to reality. I couldn't find the key, so I'm afraid that I'm stuck like this. Even though I escaped from that jail cell, I will forever be a prisoner. How did you manage to escape? I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked, which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. I remember our escape to be equally as hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it go unexamined. I think, yeah, no. I had to use the underground passageway. Actually, it's more the fact the door wasn't locked. It was propped shut, essentially. Or jammed shut. But that was on the inside, so... that's just confusing. You say that the door leading out was locked, but was it really? Hey, the cuffs just flew off his hands. We're talking about that room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open, right, Gina? Yes, that's correct. Then take a look at this. What is that? A sword? It's not an especially reliable one if it's broken like that. Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. There we go. It was simply held shut by this sword, which was used to jam the handle. And even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why did you not just simply remove the sword and escape? Why didn't I? I was disoriented. Yeah, that's it. I didn't notice it. As if I should accept such a bald-faced lie. You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like the victim. But you did not in fact possess the key to the door. That is why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your very own. You've been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way. What would that be? A motive, what else? Do you honestly think that an upright pure boy like him would hatch up a completely pointless scheme such as kidnapping himself? Ba-da-da. This proves that Lance did indeed have a motive to commit this crime. Indeed it do! Tenderlander! To put it simply, Lance has a very urgent need for money. This is hardly your typical love letter, it is in fact a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance? Oof. Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man too. Must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your own old men, huh? Alright, I give up. I abducted myself. Lance! It's over, Lolly. In this life, we really are bound to our fates, after all. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town, somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted us to be well off with that $1 million, but now that dream is over. Ah, Lance. Then you were giving yourself up? Yes. I had planned to run away from this world with my lolly. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back. He turned on you? Maybe he didn't want to split the ransom money, that's my guess. It happened almost right after you made the drop-off. Oh. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside that room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes, and split up. Lolly left first in the blue badger costume. That would mean the person Officer Meekin saw was Miss Pops. But right then the old man just had to wake up. I was careless and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. Then Oliver put on a bad badger costume, took the suitcase with the $1 million and ran. I contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. They had no idea that they were related, so I thought that it could only end badly. I still don't believe it, that person was not my father. Because if he was, I just killed my own father. Jesus. Lolly, then it really was you? Oh no. Chain of events. Jesus. That man was not my father, I mean, because at the stadium, there was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. But that badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot, the other person crumbled to the ground, and I ran, scared for my life. Oh. Not good. I think the big picture is finally coming into focus, don't you? Lolly, forgive me. I didn't think it would turn into something so frightening. If only I could have protected you. So, Miss Pops, she shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was. If what she says is true... Are you saying she's lying? But why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve? You'd be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? What I mean is, listen very carefully to her confession once more and you'll see. Guess at the stadium. So please calm down and let's slowly talk through this. But all you have to do is simply tell us what happened at the stadium. Leave it to us to search out the truth. Can you do that? Or can you do that for me? Alright, so at the stadium. There was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. But that badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot. Oh, God. I wasn't paying attention. That man was not my father. Right, I did not press on this, I don't think. I'll just press B a bunch. So that was the ransom money, wasn't it? Yeah, I just kind of zoned out. Yes, that's how I was able to identify Mr. Deacon almost immediately. It was all thanks to what Lance told me. And what did he tell you? Well, he called me on my cell phone and told me that Mr. Deacon had betrayed us and had run off with the ransom money. and about how he had a gun. The Badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. Right, were you able to clearly see the gun? Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, Father, why would you try to shoot me? You really think a father would shoot his own daughter? I don't know. I don't want to believe it myself. But it's true, my father's left arm was raised with a gun in it. Pointed straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought. Miss Pops. Please calm down and take a deep breath. And then would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time? Yes, of course. His left hand. It can't have been Colin then. No, because his dominant hand is his right. Unless he used his left to basically just, like, threaten and not actually shoot. Plus it would have been a gun that had nothing but blanks inside of it. Yeah, right, dominant hand is right. I have here a dossier on your father. And according to this, your father was right-handed. Ah, then... the person pointing a gun at you from atop the stage was not Mr. Deacon. That's where the other suit was! Was it Lance? Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. Bad Badger has a model gun attached to his right hand. Which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun with was his left. Isn't it possible that it went down like that? Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Pops was saying? Then again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in court to catch it. Enough with the smugness, out with it already. Miss Pops told us earlier. There was a Bad Badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. According to you, the Bad Badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is that correct, Miss Pops? Yes, exactly. So, and I'm sure it was the Bad Badger. It had those huge sunglasses on its face. Well, if that's the case, even I can see there's a huge contradiction. Miss Pops claims to have seen the Bad Badger, and yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict each other. So one must be wrong. It wasn't the Bad Badger. Both hands were not occupied. Both are correct. So it wasn't the Bad Badger and both weren't occupied. They are both correct. Impossible. That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction. Miss Pop's entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. But what if that Bad Badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? This proves that there was a way for the Bad Badger to freely use both of his hands. Oops. Right, so the head. Yeah, separate from the body. So she'd have seen that and just assumed. The costumes have two parts to them, a head and a body. Oh, I get it now. The head Miss Pops saw was probably really the head of the Bad Badger. However, it's not possible that the body was that... Or is it not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger? A different badger? Yes, or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. The body of the Bad Badger Miss Pops saw really belonged to this badger. What the heck is it? It's the Proto Badger. Yes, and it's a simple matter of process of elimination. Miss Pops was wearing the blue badger costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the pink badger is of the wrong colour, which would have been incredibly obvious. All that is left is the Proto Badger costume. Miss Pops, who was the one who wore the Proto Badger costume? Uh-oh, that would be Lance. Are you saying what I think you are? That Lance Amano donned the Bad Badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon? On top of which, he plotted to shoot Miss Pops while wearing that hideous thing? The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that, a setup. And its purpose was to lead Miss Pops into believing she had committed murder, standing there in front of Miss Pops and pretending to be the victim. It was all done so that she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about. What exactly would I have... Oh, why exactly would I have had to do all that, huh? There's but one reason. Lance Amano. You are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What? No. That's slander. Take it back. You take it back right now. Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? I'm left-handed. But what does that have to do with anything? It depends. According to Miss Pops, her attacker held a gun in his left hand. Who is what-handed doesn't prove a thing. Besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the Proto-Badger is bulletproof. One misfire and he would have found himself dead, right? Unless he gave her the model gun that's loaded with nothing but blanks. Of course, logically, if he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. Oh, I've realised what's happened. If it's a gun loaded with blanks, she probably would have closed her eyes, pulled the trigger, heard a massive bang, and if he had just fallen to the ground, it would have looked as if he'd been shot and killed. Okay. But I believe he had thought of that as well and prepared accordingly. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure that he wouldn't be hit by a bullet. Clever. Very clever. We found one half of a Bad Badger costume in the hideout, a broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing, plus it was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the Bad Badger carries, which can fire blanks. What? Miss Pops, where is the gun you used now? I threw it away into the sea. That makes it a bit tough to verify that it was, or what it was, although I believe that we can safely assume that it was the model gun in question. I've heard enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture. I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. However, I can say that the probability that I am right is very high. Okay, let's pretend that you're right, and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? I don't know yet. Huh, I knew you were full of it. However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame. Please, wait a second. It's simply not possible. Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance. She saw the victim in the state of being restrained? Right. What Miss Pops saw. He came back to the hideout long after the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape. So Mr. Deacon must have escaped and the two of you left, right? We thought that it'd attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, as I was walking through the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone. Oliver managed to escape. It looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at that time, and then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pops saw the victim with her very own eyes, which means that the victim was still alive at that time, wouldn't you agree? Why does that sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine it in more detail. So I came back to the hideout long after the other two. When exactly did you arrive back at the hideout? It was after we had picked up the ransom money. And where were you up until the time you returned? I was scouting the park out and making preparations for our escape. I walked around in the various areas looking for the best route. Ah, so each of them had their own roles to play. After I was done, I went back to the hideout. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. Hold it! So how did Lance look at that time? He looked shocked. He also looked a little down. When I saw that sadness in his eyes, Thank you, that's enough for now. And what of Mr. Deacon? What was his situation like? Tied Mr. Deacon up. Tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door. You're sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw? Yes, I'm certain of what I saw. Did you go into the other room to check? Lance said that it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Lance, he's such a kind soul. Then, are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself? I checked through the slit in the door that separates the two rooms. He had a Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. That just had to be Mr. Deacon. She saw a Bad Badger head. Interesting. Huh. So I'm absolutely sure it was Mr. Deacon. It wasn't. Spoilers. So the tied up Mr. Deacon was still in his Bad Badger costume. Yes, and it would appear that she misread the whole situation. What now? Should I raise an objection? Indeed. The person you saw was not the victim. What? Why not? I will tell you why not, with this. This, Miss Pops, shows us that the person you saw was not the victim. Miss Pops, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all. Huh? The person you saw was... you actually saw was this person. Me! It was me. Huh? The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth? I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers have ducked me even after I had handed over the ransom? They needed a body. It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right? That's... You showed Miss Pops a person, namely me, with a Bad Badger's head on. And then made your costume to escape together. Also, you pretended. Huh? What do you mean he pretended? Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape, and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the Bad Badger head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake prison with the prop sword. He then escaped via the passageway. Hold your tongue, boy. Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth. Tidal wave? We've heard a lot come out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and his subsequent detainment. All of that could have happened while you were out cold. Oh god, that felt weird. Alright. Yeah, that's right. You were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. Even if that were the case, Miss Pops would have still seen me tied to that beam. I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I didn't go into the next room. So I really have no idea if you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, it would seem that you can't prove a thing. Uh-oh. Hold it. Who said that? Gumshoe? Amano! Please, wait. Mr. Amano. Miles, my boy, it looks like you're really giving it your all. And Lance, it's not good to cause trouble for others. Dad. Let's see, you are the one in charge of the investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry that my son has been nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you. Oh, do you now? Oh. Is that what I think it is? It's the... Oh! It's a Bad Badger costume and the victim was wearing, and a gun. I couldn't wait around for the police, so I went and found these myself. It appears they were disposed of in the sea. Is there no one in this country who actually obeys the law? There. There now. Agent Lang, please calm down. Huh? What the heck is that scrap of paper? This appears to be a letter from the Chief of Police. Please allow Mr. Romano complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says. What? The Chief of Police? What the? Just who does he think he is? The person who wields the highest authority in this area. Ho ho ho. There. There now. There is no need to be so upset. I'm not a cop from this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country. No. Oh, no. This wasn't meant to strong-arm you into anything, it's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of the land. I can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand, it doesn't matter who found the evidence, its value remains unchanged. Alright now, let's take a look at this new evidence. I've already got the results back. I've had a special forensics research lab that I'm on good terms with conduct the tests. They verified that the blood on this costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could find were yours, Lauren. What? You disappoint me, Miles. I can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and heartache. Ah, Christ. Thank goodness I was able to find the final pieces of evidence. With this, you'll have no reason left to push my poor boy around. That's it. These are the case-making pieces of evidence. I'll be the judge of that. I want Rustin inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. I see something in here. What's this? It looks like there's something inside the costume head. Hey, they sparkle. I bet they're really valuable. Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. But why are they in here? Oh. Okay. So we got mirror fragments. Could this be the gun? Could this gun be the actual murder weapon? It's a revolver. And then the bullet. This bullet hole looks kind of burnt around the edges. Wait, those burn marks were left by the gunpowder. This is a most important fact. Why is that? Because it is proof that the victim was shot at point-blank range. Ah. So there's that. Well, are these not the most definitive pieces of evidence you've ever seen? Thank you, Dad. This should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there. Yeah, no. Decisive evidence. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun. And they prove that it was Lolly who killed Oliver. But Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. So, the fingerprints on the weapon, huh? Oh no, this isn't helpful at all. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lolly, but in the end, all I can do is watch on as she takes the punishment for her crimes. That may be all you can do, however, I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of unravelling your insidious lie. You ruined me. Why won't you believe me even in the face of all this evidence? Alright. So... Our fingerprints on that murderous gun. How, pray tell, are there fingerprints if she's wearing a goddamn costume? Those fingerprints, are you sure they belong to Miss Pobbs? There's no mistake about it. Through my connections, I had the best forensics techniques money can buy performed. I found that to be a bit peculiar. What? Are you trying to pick an argument with me? What should I do? Raise an objection? Yeah. Frankly, I don't believe that Miss Popp's print should be on that gun to begin with. And the reason why Miss Popp's print should not be on the gun is... It's simply not possible for Miss Potts to have left any prints on the murder weapon. Because while she was at the stadium, Miss Potts was wearing a costume. Huh? But there's been no mistake. We found fingerprints. Well, Miss Potts, do you remember touching the gun at all at any time? Ah, yes. As a matter of fact, I did hold it for a bit back in the hideout. I handed it off to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for the haunted house. To retrieve the ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That is where Miss Potts' prints found their way onto the gun. Do you understand now, Mr. Romano? The fingerprints do nothing to prove that Miss Potts is the murderer. But you still don't have anything to prove that she isn't the killer, right? You seem very adamant about insisting that your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer. Oh, Lance. What? No way. I'm incredibly worried about her. But that doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right? That's where you're wrong. I have the evidence. What? How? The story that Miss Potts killed the victim at the stage in the stadium. The whole affair is simply not true because that was not the real crime scene, but a setup. This proves that the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all. Is it the costume because of the burn marks? Gunpowder burn is proof it was shot at point blank. Let's take another good look at the costume the victim was wearing. Then I believe you will see why I insist he was not shot at the stadium. This is part of the costume that proves it. The bullet hole! The bullet holio. The burn around this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point blank range. Ah, so then, you mean the murder Miss Oldbag saw at the stadium really was... Yes, she saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be a gunpowder burn. Look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Since you seem to know all the answers, why not tell us where the real crime scene is then? The house? Lance set me up to look like Mr. Deacon back at the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that. And the location where Lance and the victim were at just before I was imprisoned was the haunted house. I've got it, I know the real scene of the murder. The real location in which Mr. Deacon was killed is here. Do I have to specify, or do I just have to do it over a... I think it's not unreasonable to assume the murder took place in the haunted house. The haunted house? Yes, now I have proof that it is highly likely that the victim was killed there. What proves that the real scene of the crime was the haunted house? The mirror fragments. These were inside the costume the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror. A mirror? And what does that have to do with anything? Indeed. You don't exactly expect to find pieces of a mirror inside a costume. Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous. However, there is one place I can think where there is a plethora of mirror fragments. And that is the haunted house. Lance Romano, I propose that you killed Mr. Deacon with the revolver in the haunted house. After that, you stole the Blue Badger mobile to move his body to the Wild Wild West area. The timing of when the Blue Badger mobile was stolen confirms this as fact. Miles, my boy, say no more. I'm sorry, Mr. Romano, but I cannot do that. Be quiet. Yes, please, do something. Stop that boy from speaking any more nonsense. Ernest Romano, correct? I meant you. Now be quiet, Gramps. How dare you? Oh, I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence. To call these mirror bits decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor. What? Sheena, wasn't there a mirror in the kidnapper's hideout? Yes, there was a mirror there. Ba-da-da. A mirror that's for the haunted house. You see, isn't it possible that the fragments got into the costume there? But Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so the probability is very low. Probability? Langzy says, on Truth's path, the word probability does not exist. The only thing that does is definitive proof. The question, Mr. Prosecutor, is, do you have the definitive proof you need? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you? I do not. Do I have solid evidence that proves the murder took place at the haunted house? The answer is no. See, So since you don't have any, shut up. I don't have the evidence, yet, but I'm certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom over. Didn't we hear a loud noise? Maybe not. At that time, the only people at the haunted house, besides myself, were Lance and Mr. Deacon. If I can prove that the murder took place at the haunted house, then I can prove Lance's guilt in connection to the murder. What now, Mr. Edgeworth? Agent Lang, I have a special request. Yeah? I'd like to prove to you that the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house. Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission? Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth. Alright, permission granted. But you're not to touch a single thing, got it? That won't be a problem. All that's important to me is that the truth be brought to light. Doesn't matter by who or how it's done, as long as it is. Okay, Sheena. Come here. Put in the paperwork for the authorization immediately. Understood. I'll go get the Gatewater Group's approval. Hold it. Now what? Who was that? Now. Let's hold on for a second. There is no need to obtain approval. Mr. Romano? Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this. What is this? Sheena. It's the deed to the haunted house. The deed? Read it out loud. Gatewater Land Inc. hereby bequeaths the property known as the haunted house to Mr. Romano for the lump sum of 1 million paid in full in cash. What? Ho ho ho! As you can see, I am now the legal owner of the haunted house. Are you kidding? When did you... I ran into the owner of the park earlier, and we made the deal almost immediately. How quickly things move when you can prepare $1 million in the blink of an eye. That 1 million you paid. Don't tell me it was... Oh, that's right. That disgusting suitcase belongs to you, doesn't it? Oh, this disgusting suitcase. I don't have any more use for it, so you may have it back now. You used the ransom money? My Lance is a good boy. He even apologized for the kidnapping of it earlier. So I do believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are, so if you would please discuss things with me from now on. Discuss? What is there to discuss? Why, permission to enter the haunted house, of course. While we were busy listening to Lance's story, Mr. Romano was out there preempting us. Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. And Miles, you should hurry on home now, my boy, before I really lose my temper. Mr. Romano definitely has the deck stacked in his favor here. What should I do? If I leave it like this, the truth will be lost forever. To be continued. I always forget what the save theme is. Yay! I don't think this last part's gonna take all that long. Thankfully. But it has been 2 hours, so, you know. Alright, so Gatewater Land, main gate. It all really depends on, you know, how long it takes to, like, advance dialogue and everything. If I can't get permission to investigate the crime scene, then the truth will be lost. Hold it! Hold it, hold it, hold it! Okay. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing spacing out? Have you forgotten? There's only one thing you should do at a time like this. And what is that? When the people are in a bind, the hero of justice appears to save the day. Look, you just leave it to me. For I am Kay Faraday, the second of the great Yatagarasu. But I thought you were not... Oh, but I thought you were a thief. Not a hero. The Yatagarasu is noble, and is always a thief of justice. That's... of course. If we have enough information, I can recreate the inside of the haunted house with this. Plus, if we then factor in everyone's testimony, you can recreate exactly what happened when I dropped off the ransom money. We may be able to figure out some new information through this. It's worth a try. Haha! Agent Lang! Ah, so you want to use your little toy, be my guest. Okay, hang on. You're all about to witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Detective Gumshoe, is there a copy of the haunted house blueprints among the police's reference documents? Yes, sir. We got it just in case we needed it for the kidnapping case. Alright, I'll input the haunted house data then. Man, this is cool. Ha! What is this? Where are we? It's like we're inside the haunted house. Even if we can't inspect the real location itself, the path to the truth slumbers here. If I can successfully navigate my way using logic, I'll ultimately arrive at the truth. Now then, I believe I'm ready to investigate the crime scene. Okay, what should I recreate first? You haven't figured it out yet. Nah, maybe I have and maybe I haven't, but I'm going to make you do all the hard work. Very well, I'd like to inspect the moment in which I was ambushed by my abductor. The two of them were definitely in this place at that time. If I can verify that, it may provide me with a new lead. I had just come out of the hallway after leaving the money inside the dining room. At that time, I saw a badger slumped over on the floor at the end of the hall. What was a badger doing all the way down there? I also thought it strange. However, I thought that maybe it was simply a mannequin that was set there for atmosphere. Do you know which badger it was? No, it was too dark to tell. All I saw was its silhouette. In that case, I guess I'll just program a badger silhouette in for now. Oh whoa, this is weird. Okay, programming complete. Then I started walking towards the exit. And that's when you were struck from behind, right? Yeah, yes. But that's odd. The hallway is a dead end. Where did your assailant come from? There's only one location I can think of. I believe my assailant was lying in wait here. That doll I saw wasn't really a doll, it was in fact a costumed kidnapper. So he used the costume as the perfect camouflage to blend in with the rest of the house. Precisely. He waited until I had made the drop-off and was about to leave. Then, just as he saw me take a step towards the exit, he stood and launched his attack. I can think of no better hiding place than this. Hey, not bad, I'm beginning to think I should steal this tactic for myself. Just don't use it to do anything criminal, okay? Well, Lance? What? What are you asking me for? As one of the kidnappers, I figured I should give you the chance to confess first. I was one of the kidnappers, but I don't know anything. I did come up to the haunted house, but I never set foot inside. I left Oliver in charge of picking up the ransom money. He didn't set foot inside. Is he telling the truth, or is it another lie? Alright, then you're claiming that it was Mr. Deacon who assaulted me. Yes, I'm sure it was him. Okay, I'm putting the new info now. Mr. Deacon was the bad badger, right? Since the bad badger has a gun attached to his right hand, I'll have to change it so the weapon is in its left hand. Now to verify the facts of this recreation. Okay, so when you take a look around, it almost feels more like a house of mirrors. Indeed, who has ever heard of this many mirrors inside of a haunted house before? Well, at least we know this is the real crime scene thanks to these mirror shards. So there's that. Hey wait, these shards, there's something different about them. Oh? The ones we found earlier are thicker than the shards from these mirrors on this wall. And look, there's some sort of design on the back, too. So the pieces from that costume are certainly different from the other mirrors. What does this mean? Could it be that our pieces are not pieces of this mirror? Or of these mirrors? So they've also been updated. Interesting. So you didn't recreate the weapon. Well, I can't exactly recreate something I know nothing about. So tell me, what were you hit with? The attack came from behind, so I have no idea. But I doubt it was someone's bare hands. Okay. Then where were you hit? I was hit on the right side of my head. Just above my temple. There wasn't any... Oh, there was a bit of blood, but it wasn't anything serious. Ouch, sounds painful. Why are you smirking like that when you say it? It's just your imagination. Now let's see. Wonder if there's anything in the hallway that could have been used as a weapon. I'm looking for something the culprit could have used to hit you with. Oh! The sword. Yeah, I see it in the armor. I have it. There was indeed one such object lying here in this hallway. A prop sword. Are you talking about this thing here? Yes, although we did find it at the kidnapper's hideout. Wait, yes, it's possible that the culprit took it with him after using it on me. To leave no evidence behind, right? Correct. It may be worth a more thorough examination yet. Okay, so what test do you want to run on the sword? Luminol, just for prints. Yeah, a costumed figure was using it. The culprit was wearing a costume at the time, so a fingerprint analysis is useless. There we go. Let's run a luminol test. It's possible that some of my blood found its way onto this. Agent Lang, may I ask for your cooperation in this matter? Like I have a choice. Sheena, call the lab boys. Understood. Except for a dab on the left side, it would appear that the blade is spotless. So it must have been the left side of the prop's sword that hit you then, right? It seems that way. Okay, I'll update the recreation with this new piece of info. Right, okay. So I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. What, this? And in the next instant, this badger will swing his left arm, complete with weapon in hand. He has to club me with the left side of the prop sword. Wait, the left side, right hand. How would that work with the left hand? He'd have to, like, swing it backwards or something. Shall I recreate the moment of impact? I want to see the pained expression on your face. It's just fine the way it is. If I deduced... If I deduced the sword... I've no idea. Any evidence I hold. The broken prop sword. Hit me in the right temple. That's what I don't get it. Like, that doesn't make sense. How could it be? It just seems like you wouldn't be hit with enough force. Like, he would have to swing it over to his right and then back to effectively deal enough damage, I guess. Finally, I found a clear contradiction of facts about this sword. Except for a bit on the left side, this prop sword is absolutely spotless. However, if the culprit had used his left hand, the blood would be on the opposite side. The opposite side? Huh? If the culprit held the sword in his left hand, then the sword's right hand would hit. Right side would hit. I see, but the blood was on the left side of the sword, right? Which means that he used his right hand to hit you. Exactly, this prop sword has a large handguard attached to the hilt. It would be impossible to hold it with two hands while wearing a costume with such big hands. Therefore, if it couldn't be the left hand or both hands, it must have been the right. I'll change it to reflect a right-handed swing. Not yet, Kay. There's no sense in changing anything yet. If you change the parameters to the right hand, it'd only create a new contradiction. Changing the prop sword to be in... okay. In the culprit's right hand would conflict with what? The gun. The bad badger already holds a gun in his right hand, so he can't hold a sword in addition. Hey, that's right. Then what now? If it wasn't in his left or his right hand, it means that the one who struck me could not have been the bad badger. You paying attention, Lance? Mr. Deacon could not have been the one who struck me, which leaves only you as our primary suspect. Fine, it was me. I hit you. It appears that you lied to me yet again, but see how quickly they catch up to you, Lance? Wait, isn't Lance left-handed? Ah yes, but that's what makes this deception all the more interesting. He used his right hand to make it look like Mr. Deacon had been the one to strike me. For you see, firing a gun with one's non-dominant hand is difficult, but that level of dexterity isn't required to swing a prop sword. That's also true. Good point. Okay, please input this new data. The one who hit me from behind was Lance. Or should I say, the Proto-Badger. Yeah, this one's fucking terrifying. You got it, here I go! Oh no, the Proto-Badger just looks super creepy. I mean, look at it. Now, we have a faithful recreation of the situation around the attack on me. Alright, now all we have to do is examine this new recreation and... Great. And what exactly is so funny, Agent Lang? That amusing little gadget, it sure packs a punch, right, Sheena? Yes, it was all I could do to hold my laughter in. Hey, don't make fun of little thief, you mean old werewolf. He and Mr. Edgeworth bring out the best in each other. You've had your little fun, but now it's my turn. I've sat quietly by, listening. But the crude conclusions you two keep spewing don't whet this wolf's appetite. There's no guarantee that your toy will always show the real situation at any given time. All it displays is whatever information you put in there, right? Well, when you put it that way, your suppositions are wrong. It's not your fault, so I'm going to let you in on this. There is a trick to this haunted house. And what may that be, exactly? A trick beyond what your tiny imaginations can produce. Sheena! Here you are. Now then, what you missed, girlie, is written right here in this pamphlet. The 7 Wonders of the Haunted House, the Disappearing Badger. What is this? I'd say that someone around here is fond of theatrics. And as you can see, they set it all down at the end of this hallway for that purpose. Basically, the blue badger you saw was just a stupid doll. Oh. How can this be? Guess that throws your whole theory about it being your attacker right out the window. But that can't be right. Maybe the culprit hid the doll somewhere. And then, he laid down and pretended to be it instead. If the criminal couldn't even hide himself in the hallway, how could he hide a giant doll? Do you get it now? Thanks to your presumptions, your logic started off weak and led you to the completely wrong conclusion. Now get off your high horse. Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, I wonder if you could please input the new information for me. You don't know when to quit, do you? I can't quit, not until I can declare that I've found the truth. Agent Lang, for the additional information you have my thanks. There you go again. Well, see if I care. Okay, I'm updating the recreation now. God, the bloody animation. Takes forever. I mean, it takes like 4 seconds, but it's forever in my book. And so there he is. That looks really weird. Look at how it changes from the blue badger into the proto-badger all of a sudden. If the Slumtober badger was just a doll, where was my attacker hiding? Well, that's what we're going to find out, right? So come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go. Yes, let's. This recreation can't be right, which means there must be a contradiction somewhere. So he just appears. The one thing I noticed... I mean, I'll just check with the Bible. It looks like that strap's the wrong way. Goes over the left shoulder to the right. It is! Never mind. I wasn't wrong when I saw it. I was like, that looks odd. More reason to expect every suspicious nook and cranny. Okay, so that would be the strap. The blue badger is just a doll for use in this haunted house. I didn't want to actually examine it. I bet the one who killed this blue badger was the bad badger, right? According to the Blue Badger Bible, it says that they are each other's worst enemy. All because one's an ally of justice and the other's a vile criminal with a gun. Perhaps they were just destined to battle each other. Much like the Steel Samurai and the Evil Magistrate. Right, anyway, I don't want to do that, I wanted to deduce. It is indeed, with the Bible. Eureka! Hold on a second here. There is something wrong with this blue badger. Huh? Like what? The way the belt is on him is opposite of how it should be. Did you make a mistake? That can't be, I inputted the image data exactly as it is in the pamphlet. So then why is the blue badger dressed up in reverse? It's logic time. Yeah, we can back out of this. Logic! Or logique. Blue badger in reverse, mirror shards. Wait, so... like a mirror house, haunted house hybrid, this place is full of mirrors. Blue badger in reverse. The blue badger is, in the pamphlet, is wearing his belt in the reverse direction. I pressed B. Whoops. Connect. Whoosh. Okay, do you remember what you said earlier? What I said earlier about what? About how this building might as well have been a house of mirrors. A house of mirrors? Oh! That would explain, the reversed or mirror image. Yes, this blue badger might be nothing more than the reflected image of a real one. Then was the blue badger you saw just a reflection? Yeah, but of where? When I looked down this hall, I thought it was perfectly straight. However, if there was a mirror... oh, then it would actually form an L shape, right? Precisely. I was deceived. The hallway was almost pitch black. And there was a beam in the way that obstructed my view of the other hallway. Wait, but why build this place like that? Or like that? It sounds pretty pointless to me. Okay, this house is just another attraction at an amusement park. They created a mirror wall for a very specific purpose. One I can point out to you. This was the reason they built a mirror wall. Huh? Wait, I'm confused. Oh, right. God, I've just caught it. Yeah, the disappearing badger. Duh. As it's written in the pamphlet, the main draw of this attraction is the mystery of the disappearing badger. You mean they built the mirror for that trick alone? But you said you saw the badger, so it was definitely still there. That was true at the time, however. Doing this allows someone to make the blue badger disappear in a flash. To move the mirror wall. To remove a reflected image, simply move the mirror. First, the mirror was constructed so that it could be moved. Then, beyond where the mirror was, an empty hallway had to be created. Oh. So when they wanted people to see the blue badger, they would open the mirror, and when they wanted to hide it, they simply had to close it again. This explains why the other side of these fragments have a design on them. Ah, and if the pattern is the same as the other walls in this hallway, then when the mirror is closed, it would blend in with the rest of the walls. This is the mirror trick that this haunted house employs. And this also proves the existence of a hiding place for the culprit. Huh? How so? Think about it, Kay. There was a place that was outside of my field of vision. The culprit kept out of sight by hiding there. I don't need to present anywhere specific. There was a very large blind spot, one I could not see beyond, and it was here. If my assailant hid on the other side of the movable mirror, then you wouldn't be able to see him. He didn't even need to do anything to the blue badger doll. Exactly, all he had to do was wait for me on the other side of the mirror. Wait, hold on. I just thought of something. Yes? Well, shouldn't the mirror wall be broken right now in reality? Since we have a few shards of it, we can probably assume it is. Yes, it most definitely is broken. The question is, when was it broken? Since we found these inside the victim's costume, that would mean that the victim was there when the mirror was broken. Wait, that sound. Did we hear like glass smashing? We did. That sound I heard was most definitely the sound of a mirror breaking. Okay, I'd like you to input some new information. Don't scare me like that. Sorry, but I need you to recreate something for me. Sure, whatever you need. So what do you need anyway? If you could first recreate this hallway just before I entered the dining room. You got it. Ah, there we go. Now this, I believe this is how it was right before I entered the dining room. Although, at the time, I thought it was but a single straight hallway. And then I went inside. It was around then that I heard the sound of a mirror shattering. You heard what? Then? Yes, I believe it was then that the mirror was broken. Okay, so then when you stepped outside into the hallway again, the mirror wall should no longer exist, Kay. Oh yeah, exist. Kay, please recreate that. Got it. Bum 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 bum. Wait, but with the mirror gone, the culprit lost his hiding spot. So where did he go in his proto-badger suit, Mr. Edgeworth? That's easy enough. With the mirror gone, he simply hid himself in the branch hallway. I think this about wraps it up. Looks like we finally solved everything. No, not yet. An even larger contradiction has now reared its head. Perhaps you did not notice, but this recreation contains a very troublesome inconsistency. The inconsistency between what I saw and recreation lies there. Take a good look at the end of the hall. Oh, there's no blue badger there. Exactly, the blue badger that I saw in reality is not here. This is the final point on this long chain of logic. The last remaining contradiction. Boom. So let me get this straight. When you came out of the dining room, you saw a badger, right? And that is precisely where the final contradiction lies. Something that shouldn't exist was there before me. Who or what do you suppose it was? I believe this is the real identity of our mystery badger. Wait. Oh, right, yeah. I was about to say, do I just prevent the profile? The badger I saw was, in actuality, the dead victim's body. Do-do-do. What? Agent Lang, the entirety of my complete logic is my final decisive piece of evidence. The murder happened in the hallway of the haunted house at the time of the drop-off. And you can consider the moment I heard the mirror breaking to be the real time of death for Mr. Deacon. No! Maybe it was due to their fighting, or perhaps it was the life-shattering bullet. But no matter what the cause was, the hallway mirror wall was broken. You were in the house at the time, right? Are you telling me you missed the sound of a gunshot? He pushed it right into the suit. There were a variety of sound effects playing at the time, all for theatrics I assume. The gunshot must have blended right in. Oh, I was gonna say he could have just pushed it right next to the suit and it wouldn't have made as much of a noise. Nana, I'd like you to recall something for me. Who was it that was with the victim at the haunted house? Who was the one who had the opportunity to rob the victim of his gun and use it on him? It was you, Lance Amano. Oh, breakdown. Oh, damn. Oh, dear. Ah, oh, God. I'm sorry. I knew it. I'm sorry! Oh dear. So he killed Lauren's father. It's not like I had a choice. Oliver turned on me all of a sudden. He snapped and turned violent right after I hung up with you. He shoved me to the ground and straddled me. I fought back as hard as I could, grabbed his gun, and I shot him. The bullet must have went through his body and shattered the mirror. If I hadn't taken his gun and shot him first, I would have been the one you found. He's a hardened criminal. He escaped from jail. See? That's justified self-defense. My boy was only trying to protect himself. That remains to be seen, and will have to be resolved in court. Agent Lang, I leave the rest to you. As if you were the one in charge around here. Guys, arrest these two and get them out of my sight. But wait, I had nothing to do with the murder. The only person you should be arresting is Lance. Oh my god, he quite quickly turned on his son. Dad! Sorry, but you're not slipping away that easily, Mr. Ernest Amano. You tampered with the evidence so you could cover for your son. What a great dad you are, willing to risk it all. Truly touching. By the way, do you know why I'm really here? And how could I possibly know the answer to such an asinine question? You wound me. I came all this way from across the sea just to see you, you know? You came to see... me? What's that supposed to mean? I have a few things to ask you, Mr. Romano, about a case from 10 years ago. A case from 10 years ago? Oh, what's the name of that? Oh, what's the name that you use here for that case? Sheena! Is it gonna be another one of these, like, two letters dash... Oh, it is. I wasn't even looking at the screen. It's known as the KG8 incident. Oh god. The KG8 incident? Oh, so you remember it. Good, then you'll recall that the trigger in that case was the Amano Group scandal. Specifically, the charge of an internal smuggling ring. Smuggling? There's that word again. At the time, the person that was arrested as the ringleader was Mr. Amano's very own secretary, Mr. Colin Deveray. Ah. Okay. Ah, father. Even though you pushed the crime onto your then-secretary, Mr. Deveray, I always suspected that you were involved with the smuggling ring, Mr. Romano. Mr. Deveray was arrested in place of you. Which is why, when he broke out, you hid him from the police, right? You hid him in exchange for his silence on your dirty little secret. Or little dirty secret. Now. Please, calm down. I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. Pretend to be ignorant all you want. We're taking you down to the precinct anyway for a nice long chat. Oh god, he's sweating from everywhere. Oh, I can see sweat falling off his hands. Ugh, gross. Hold it. What the? Who the heck was that? Oh my, it's him. Wait, what? How is he here? Wait, that's what's-his-face, it's Buddy! This must have been before the first case. I don't know what the order of these are, but this must have been before the first one. I'm trying to think what the order would be. The second case, then the first case, then this case? Wait, no. It'd be the second case, then this case, then the first case? I don't really know. That's really weird. I'll take him down to the precinct if you don't mind. And who the heck are you? I'm Jacques Portsman, and I'm the prosecutor in charge of this case. Oh, Jacques, thank goodness you're here. Don't joke me around. This is an Interpol case, so keep your paws off of my suspect. Sorry, but I can't comply. I've got the backing of the prosecutor's office. See, in this country, we prosecutors work with the police to bring cases to court. So if you could please cooperate with me here, that'd be great. Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? Sorry, but I hate prosecutors, the whole lot of you. Guys, arrest the two suspects. Sir! Oh, I almost forgot. Prosecutor Mars Edgeworth, is it? I'd like to thank you. Thank me? Yeah, for working so hard to fulfill my goal. Hey, is that any way to thank someone? And what the heck is that supposed to mean? You were so relentless with Lance that you forced Ernest to tamper with the evidence. Thanks to that, I finally had a legitimate reason to arrest him. So, how does it feel to bite the hand that feeds you? The hand that feeds me? I'm not sure I follow. It's no use pretending with me. You're the one, right? You're the corrupt prosecutor that's working for Mr. Romano in the smuggling ring, right? No, I would never do such a thing. What the heck? Our intel's never wrong. I think that's probably Jack, or Jacques. Or Jacques. I don't actually know how you'd say his name. Whatever. In your prosecutor's office, there's definitely someone working with the ring. So Agent Lang suspected my relation to Mr. Romano. That must be the real reason behind this antagonistic attitude. On top of that, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? There was non-stop rumours flying around about forged evidence with that guy. You're not twisting the truth behind those closed courtroom doors, too, are you? A courtroom is a place where the truth is revealed. Ha ha ha! Well, don't you worry, it's not only you. The whole lot of you can't be trusted. A prosecutor who never lost in 40 years, every defendant must be found guilty. Fueled by those ideas, is it any wonder that courts produce nothing but falsities and lies? It would seem that his disdain extends beyond just me. Prosecutors, the courts, why is this man so angry with us all? Rest assured, the next time we meet, I won't be so forgiving. Oh! So don't you forget it. The next time we meet will be the final case. Please wait. Agent Sheena. Why does Agent Lang hate all prosecutors so? Lang is the head of the long-honoured House of Lang in Zhengfa. The heads of all police-related divisions in that country were of Lang blood. Were? What do you mean by that? Aren't they still? They were revered, but that was long ago. They don't hold that sort of sway anymore. And it was all because of the courts. How can that be? A prosecutor once withheld and tampered with the evidence one of the Lang detectives found. That evidence's purity was tarnished and cost the Lang family its honour and trust. But not all prosecutors are like that. Even so, Lang will never respect the court again, or any prosecutor. So Agent Lang is a man who hates all courts, and is unwilling to forgive prosecutors. Man, what a piece of work that guy is. Come on, Jim. We better catch up. Yeah. So we still got to deliver that thing to the old man after all. Yeah, I think it must have been him. I'm still trying to figure out the bloody order. Detective Gumshoe, I believe it's time we wrapped up and headed home ourselves. Yeah, you going home too, Mr. Edgeworth? No, I've done nothing but be entangled in one mess after another since my return. If it's alright with you, can you drop me off at my office? No problem, sir. Excuse me. Yes, what is it? That is... Thank you very much. Oh, it's okay, no need to thank me, pal. Just doing my job as a detective. I guess I was fooled pretty badly by Lance. Oh, cruel fate, what's a woman to do when she's been hurt by the one she loves? And to think I never realised my father was right there. I never said anything to him. I knew it. I'm a failure. There she goes again, talking to herself. Miss Pops? I wonder if you know why your father participated in the kidnapping? No, I have no idea. Your father died while he was trying to stop Lance, which means that from the beginning he had no interest in the staged self-abduction. Wait, then why did he... I believe it was because of your presence, Miss Pops. Me? Lance realised that the two of you were related, which is why he used you as a hostage to coerce Mr. Deveray into cooperating. Father, as a felon, he could not tell you of his real relation to you. However, as the Amano family butler, at the very least, he was able to watch over you. It was all he could do, but that was the shape of his overflowing love for you. Go on, speak your mind. That is... Thank you very much. You're welcome. Although, there is no need to thank me. No, Lauren, stop. I mean, this man's so much older than you. Oh my god. That's like 2 people that have fallen for Edgeworth now. Looks like you've completely stolen her away, Mr. Edgeworth. Way to go, sir. Your technique is way beyond the level of a great thief. What are you going on about now? Wow, your deducing skills may be sound, but you have no street smarts. That's Mr. Edgeworth for you. Yeah, I mean, he still hasn't figured out who I am at all. If you haven't remembered in all this time, I guess I'm just going to have to say it. This isn't the first time we've met, you know. What do you mean, pal? Mr. Edgeworth, how do you know this girl? Looks like you totally forgot me too, Gummy. Gummy? Oh. Here, maybe this will jog your memories. I promised I'd return this to you one day, remember? That single piece of cloth took me back far into my past. To the fateful day 7 years ago, when I first met the then child, Kay. And Detective Gumshoe. That's going to be the end of the episode, though. Of course it is. The end. Oh my god, what a case. That wasn't that long, though. I'd say the worst part about that, for me, was mostly the fact that the first 2 parts were over in an hour. So the other 2... Wait, actually, looking at the... Yeah, I think I only did the beginning in the previous session. But yeah, the middle parts, or middle 1 and middle 2, they took 30 minutes each. So they were both done within an hour. And I was just like, oh no. So I could have actually, in the previous session, done beginning and both middles, and then finished off with the ends. That probably would have given me enough time for a session, but not like it matters now. Either way, that is going to be the end of this session. God, I got the hiccups. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and until next time, take care.